Hiya, it's Xavier and welcome to my bonsai retreat. This is a special edition which I may do on a 2-monthly basis depending on what your views are. I get lots of queries about, when am I going to get to my Mugo pine, when am I going to get to my maples, all the usual questions, and most of us know when to do stuff, but you know what? I've spent many years waiting to see it happen on YouTube before I've actually gone ahead and do it. And the problem is, as you probably know, I might have a list or a queue of stuff, and here comes the sun, as the great Beatles said once. Do-do-do-do, here comes the sun. But I don't want the sun while I'm talking to you. I thought what I would do is really short. I can hear you all laughing and groaning. When does Zav ever do anything short? No, telling you what I've got planned for end of August, early September, which is our basically summer, autumn transition period. And this year I've definitely fully embraced repotting in this period of time for things like our junipers, our pines, yew, my Japanese quince. I may even be doing a box. Now I'm the first one to put my hands up. Mugo pine. I just got caught up with lots of other stuff and never got around to doing that urgent, important bit of work in the sort of middle of June, which was actually cutting back candles to try and promote new second flushes. I did do it. Did it near in sort of July, and you'll see a video of that. But bit of a wait and watch and see. So I did miss that slot. But we'll see how it's reacted to later ones. And as I say, I will be repotting these though, just to remove a little bit more of the soil. So it won't be heavy styling, but that's going to happen near the end of August. Now I've also got this. I don't know. I don't know whether it's a snake bark or cork bark Japanese elm. Either way, the cobra, as I call it, definitely needs to have that that shari work done, cleaned up. I'll probably reopen up the cambium to help continue the rollover process. And really that'll be it for that. Japanese white pine, we all know that's going to get its repot, and it's also going to get wired up. So we'll be seeing that in the late August, early September. And as well as continuing to work on Susan's oak forest plantation, just general pruning, which we're going to be doing all through this part of the next few weeks. I've also got the wiring and the carving that I'm going to do on this privet. So as well as just the general pruning, which is going to keep going, whether it be larches, maples, trident maples, you've seen it all. That'll continue to happen. And I'm also going to be doing repots on my yews, and these have been in these pots for many years. I'm going to get them into a much more freer draining soil, but again, this is something we'll be doing in the autumn, so this will be early September. The same as I say, I've got quite a few younger pines, but I'm going to be doing the styling and also repot work on these. And you can clearly see I've got a few Scots pine to be working on, so we won't be bored, that's for sure. Then there's a couple of junipers. They're going to have to be wired up. Won't be repotted, but definitely need to do some styling on them. I'll also need to be getting onto the display Chinese elm. These are the ones that were imported. Very expensive, my little babies, but they need pruning. I may not show that. That could actually be something that you'll see in a winter or something like that, because this is just straightforward Chinese elm pruning. But they'll get done. And of course I'm also going to be trying to get another round of budding and shoots from my larch. So this will be the cloud larch. That needs to get done. I've got quite a few larches that are on either their second or third pruning cycle. Bit of wind from the sky, a bit more. I've also got all of my Chinese elm and trident maple roots on rock that you saw earlier in the year. They all need to be weeded and cut back heavily. And then we are going to be doing repots on a number of junipers. Got one here. Got this big monster here. All of these have been in these pots for at least 5 years, so they're well in the cycle. And I'm going to be putting them in a much more pumice-based mix, and take some advice of some people who really know what they're doing with their soils. So it's time for some of the better ones to go into a much more bonsaified soil, so to speak. So yeah, so junipers. Again, this one has been subject to a couple of videos. We'll be looking at that one, maybe changing the potting angle on that. So yeah, so lots of junipers, but as I say, this sort of work is going to be sitting into the early part of September. So I find that this time of the year, there's about a week where I sort of scoot about and do a little bit of pruning of tips and stuff like that. But yeah, the time for the repots is coming soon. Oh, got some quince as well. Tell you what, my knees aren't up for this kneeling down. The other thing I did do, I think I mentioned in one video, I completely cleared out my Chinese elm nursery area, which was just a jungle, and there now, all in individual pots, stuff like that. You can't see it properly, but they're all separated, pruned, and potentially going to be ready for looking at next year. And clearly, there's still stuff growing. All the Japanese maple here that I'm doing the root work development on, I'm going to be getting a load of bone meal down to try and, this time of the time, I want to be starting to inject as much fertilizer to optimize root growth. Some more junipers at the back here we'll be looking at. And there's a lot more pruning as well. For those of you who still managed to put up with my knobbly knees, ALA is going to be separated, and I can already say to you that I had a little peek last week, and there's definitely some nice white roots forming. So that's on the English elm and hornbeam. You know, I'm going to look around, check things that have got wire on them. I've been removing wire now, and then just general upkeep and stuff like that, which is the sort of work I'll be doing now. And as also mentioned, the air layers on this Katsura maple, I'll be checking those probably in another week. So we'll be looking at the end of August when I'll pull those off. So we're just about heading towards beginning of September, and again, root production is at its best over the next few months. So both of those will be separated, and again, I can already tell you, definitely some roots in there. So very happy. So anyway, hopefully that's a flavour of what I've got intended for the last few weeks of August, and certainly through the first 2 weeks of September. And we'll give you an idea, if you're thinking about it, that yeah, crack on. Literally, we are right now in this middle of August, and this is the time when I can put the tools down, basically, ponder around and not do very much. And of course, there is definitely some carving. I've got my new nibbler. But any questions about whether I should be doing or not doing things, let me know. So, from Xavier, down the bottom of his garden, surrounded by his maples, being strangled by his vines, I'll say thanks very much for watching. Hope this is useful. Hope I may well do the same thing again in another month or two's time, so we can stay ahead of the game. And wish you all the best. Happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.